McDonald, for example. The kid is 6'6". I mean, where's he going to end up? How much is he going to? Who knows how much he's going to weigh eventually? I mean, once he starts eating 3 square meals a day and the nutritional supplements that these that the players are taking now are so good, and so you never know, and that's why we recruit those guys that are. They are multi-talented. They are multi-sport players, and where you don't know where they're going to end up as long as they exhibit certain characteristics, physical toughness, okay, the ability to make plays.
Coach Robertson talked about it a little bit. How much of an emphasis was there on finding those pass rushers like you talked about with Marvin and a few of the other guys?
It's critical in a 3-4 scheme because a lot of times when you're playing inside shaded techniques, when you're playing zero nose and 2-4 techniques, you're not going to get a lot of pass rush in those guys. So we create pressure from the second level. I think one thing that you'll see is we'll be very multiple in who is going to be the fourth rush, out of different fronts and variations of fronts. So, like I said, I think it was absolutely a necessity for us to go out and identify. If you notice, a lot of linebacker, a lot of long, tall guys that can run with Golson and even Gross and Henry, Darian Howard, Al-Rashid Benton, Hadari Christian. So there was a big emphasis on that. And even a young guy like Jeremy Tyler. He's a very explosive edge blitzer, but also has the ability to cover in space and be able to make tackles out in space. So I'm excited about those second-level players that we were able to bring in, and it'll be really interesting to see where they end up.
What do you think about guys that have been in early so far?
You know what? Really, with being on the road until this week, we've only had the opportunity to really see them once or twice, and they're still not maybe in the condition maybe that they need to be in. So we'll be able to evaluate those guys. I know they have a great attitude. I know they have a willingness to learn and are going to come in and make a difference.
You talked a little bit about this earlier, but what are some traits that you look for in these guys that you think can make them good players in the system?
I think one thing that people have gotten away from, I try not to recruit just position specific. Go get football players. Go get guys that they. You take Al-Rashid Benton, for example. He had 110 tackles, but he also rushed for over 700 yards as a running back. That's a football player, and he weighs 235 pounds. So there's a guy that not only does he have the ability to make plays, he's been used to carrying the ball in certain situations in a game where he's got the ball under his arm. And the thing I like about, I've said it over and over again, that those guys aren't used to just running into people. They're trying to slip, people tackling them, and that pays dividends once you move over to defense. Now you're trying to people blocking you. They slip blocks and then make plays. So that's what we try to identify, guys that are more versatile.